What's up guys, and welcome back to a new video. In this video we'll be installing an R34 Skyline steering rack along with some new goodies, some GK Tech solid steering rack bushings and a solid steering column spacer. Now, I said the other day that I had an S14 steering rack. Well, that turned out to be a Subaru Forester steering rack. The guy I bought it off of accidentally got it mixed up and with his S14 one that he supposedly had, which he didn't. So what he did instead of that is offer me an R34 Skyline steering rack with Maxima inner tie rod ends and some trans steer rack ends. Now to me it's a no-brainer because an S14 steering rack was finished production in 1998, obviously with the S14s, and the Skyline R34 started production in 1999 and finished in 2002. So the R34 Skyline steering rack is newer, less wear and tear, and it has Maxima tie rod ends which are longer, stronger. I can't really complain, so to me I'm actually really happy with the outcome. I'm really excited to finally put the steering rack in place because it's the only thing that's holding me back from putting the engine and gearbox in, because it's a lot easier to do with it out. So let's go ahead and chuck it in.
No. Oh no.
Well, that video came to a grinding halt and I'll show you why. So basically what happened was this solid steering rack bushing here has a different radius to what the steering rack is. So if I put that down there and you have a look closely, you'll see that there's a gap between the underside of that rack bushing and it's touching on either side. The reason being is because S14 steering racks are not the same overall diameter as an R34 steering rack as I was told. So just to let you guys know, the R34 steering rack is not the overall diameter of 45 millimeters like it is on the S14 and S15 chassis. It is instead just over, it should be saying 50 mil. I don't know why it's saying 51, but it is 50 mil exactly. Let's try this again. Reset it. There you go. 50 mil, 50.5. So now that that's all cleared up, if anyone else is putting an R34 steering rack into an S chassis, you now know that you need R34 steering rack bushings, which is what I have here, fresh new parts. So let's go ahead and try them out. As you can see, they fit a lot better and a lot more snug than the other ones. Minimal gap, that'll close up once we bolt it all together, and that's pretty much closed as it is. So yeah, let's go ahead and chuck that in. Cool, so we've got that solid steering column spacer in and all bolted up. We've also got the lower part of the steering column bolted to the steering rack itself, and the way I figured out how to center the steering rack and everything like that, I basically just got a tape measure. I measured from the outside of this bolt here to this edge of the cross member, and whatever this was, which ended up being 300, I just made it the same on the other side. So I'm no expert, I've never done this before. This is just how I kind of thought in my head how it could go, just to get it somewhere close, because the only real reason in doing this is to make sure that the wheels are going straight when the steering wheel is flat and straight. Now, I don't like that steering wheel, so I'm gonna get rid of it, so this step doesn't really matter for now, but I don't know, I'm just doing it anyways. So yeah, now that's done, we can jump straight back into the engine bay and bolt it to the cross member.
No.
So, let me show you guys the new problem. Because the R34 steering rack overall diameter is obviously bigger than the S chassis, there seems to be a gap now between that. It shouldn't be that much though. I still feel that can go down a little bit more and compress. But long story short, I think I may need to get some R34 steering rack mount brackets to use instead of these S chassis ones. So on that note, I think I'm going to end this video here because I want to be able to post this and show you guys the progress. Also too, I want to be able to look back on this build and remember all the little problems and mishaps that I had to come across and overcome. However, on the bright side of things, we now have the correct steering rack bushings and the steering column is now attached to the steering rack. So there are two positives out of today. Also, anyone that's putting an R34 steering rack into their S chassis car, these are definitely things you'll have to look at in future if you are going down that route. But like I said, that's all for this video and I'll see you guys on the next one.